I was kind of sad I never got to jump on board of the anti SJW train and make videos about them, but that is all about to change. We're fighting a war, a culture war, and as so many other countries are quick to point out, America only has pop culture. Well, of course it does. Our country's only about 240 years old. We're a little late to the party, but we'll catch up. Our culture is pop culture. Music, movies, books, TV, and even commercials become part of our cultural landscape with silly catchphrases or jingles that influence us. And influence is what it's all about. Influencing you to go see something, to spend money on something, to become a fan of something and spend a lot of money on that thing. Or the ultimate marketing goal to make you a fanboy, a collector who has to love that thing and immerse themselves into the deepest recesses of pop culture and spend every last cent you have buying every toy, every version, and every variant cover, even if you don't like them. You need them to complete your collection. And that brings us to Star Wars. I went to Toys R Us and the store was going out of business, and pretty much all of the merch was 70% off, and the shelves were empty. Well, mostly empty. Hold on, I took a picture. Yes, even at 70% off, there were still piles of new Star Wars shit there. Now let's talk about Solo, a Star Wars spin off to be exact. First off, there's a place for spin offs, and it's called TV. Now, I can hear everyone saying I'm a man child or a basement dweller or a fanboy and that SJW Star Wars ruined my childhood. No, growing up ruined my childhood. Turns out being an adult is hard and a lot of it really sucks. Anyway, I did enjoy the original movies, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Black, and Return of the Jedi. And no, it's not called A New Hope. Obama was your New Hope. Now, how'd that work out for you? It's Star Wars only, and calling it anything else acknowledges the prequels as part of the series, and that is not okay in my book. So, like I said, I dug the hell out of the first three movies, saw them all, had the toys, the comic books, I wore the t shirts, and had that shit all over my room. Then something happened. I got older and I got laid. Suddenly, playing with Dewback wasn't quite as interesting. I gave away my old Star Wars toys and moved on with my life. The prequels came and went, and as lame as they were, which was pretty fucking lame, they still felt like Star Wars. I mean, minus the boring ass space politics and monologues about fucking sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Then Lucas got ass blasted and sold Lucasfilm to Disney for $4 billion, which honestly seems pretty cheap considering Star Wars is arguably the most popular movie franchise in the world. So then Disney sees Jar Jar Abrams' demo reel that was the Star Trek movies and brings him on board to really suck the fans' dicks and grease up their wallets while slipping in some forced diversity. For the record, J.J. Abrams' best movie is Night Beast. I had mixed feelings about this new movie. I wanted to see it because it looked like they were really trying to get back to the vibe of the original movies and even used practical locations and shot it on film. As interesting as it might have sounded, I just couldn't be bothered to go to the theater and see it, and I never did. Later, I hear it's a remake of Star Wars, and I feel even less interested, so ultimately I skipped it. Then Rogue One came out, and an asshole friend of mine talked me into watching it. Well, for free on Netflix, because I'm not paying for that shit. So the first time I tried to watch it, I shut it off. I just shut it off. Then my friend talked me into finishing the pile. I was surprised by the terrible, uninspired characters, schlocky writing, and that it just didn't feel like a fucking Star Wars movie. The damn holiday special is more Star Wars than Rogue Wonton. By the time The Last Jedi came out, I didn't care, and I felt inspired to instead watch the original three movies again. So I found Star Wars on an old VHS tape so I didn't have to endure the CG fuckery forced on the movie, ruining it forever. So it was okay. I still enjoyed it for the most part. It's easy to spot that there were whole scenes deleted. I actually don't know why I loved that movie so much as a kid. Actually, as a kid, I related mostly to Hand Solo, and that's what brings me to my point. Soylo, an SJW Star Wars movie. I am so stoked for this. A movie so bad that the directors were fired after principal photography, that Hollywood hack Ron Richie Cunningham Howard was brought in to reshoot almost the entire movie, that an acting coach was brought in to coach Aldrin Ehrenreich. Is that fucker's name? Yeah, anyway, that dude, because his acting sucked so fucking hard that Disney got busted for ripping off an artist that Sony probably already ripped off. That having a gun on the poster wasn't beta enough, so the studio photoshopped it out. I cannot wait to see him fly around in the Millennial Falcon with its awesome new design that now looks like a slice of pizza with aftermarket halogen lights like you'd see on a lowered 90s Honda. Then his awesome new friends show up like Therm Scissor Punch, a lobster in a raincoat, and then there's the Range Trooper, or maybe it should be the Rave Trooper, since it looks like he's wearing a pair of fucking kickwear pants and a fur coat. I bet he's got Vicks in that fucking mask. Maybe some of our old friends can show up, like Chinese Demographic. I hear she starts her own donut shop in the next movie. Or maybe Admiral Feminist Agenda. And the part I am the most excited about, Han Solo and Lando Calrissian might be lovers. You know I can't wait for the first gay Star Wars kiss. Kids will be buying the Han Solo and the Lando Calrissian figures and having them make out in the Millennial Falcon. Now have fun explaining that to your kids, non-shitty parents. Now shitty parents, I'm sure your son is already wearing a dress, so no big deal. Maybe Chewbacca can videotape Lando and Solo going at it. Or maybe he can just join in and we can have the first ever Star Wars interracial and interspecies fucking three-way. But you know what? There's no way Disney will go for that. It's not bland enough, and I might remember it 20 minutes after I leave the theater. Now, I'm sure Ehrenreich does a way better job than, say, Anthony Ingruber, who did this dead-on impersonation of the real Hand Solo.
Han Solo. I'm Captain of the Millennium Falcon. Courier tells me you're looking for a passage to the Alderaan system. A fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
And even played a young Harrison Ford in The Age of Adeline, a movie that I have not nor will not see. Well, Ingruber is probably too old now, so the studio needed someone younger. And nope, they're the same age. Well, I am so excited to see where Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Brick Johnson take the franchise. Rian kicked so much ass with The Last Jedi that he was handed an entire trilogy right off the bat. Oh, wait, now it just looks like he's directing one of those movies and now Jar Jar Abrams is back. Well, maybe we can finally get away from cramming SJW crap into these movies. I know it's impossible for a big Disney property to fail. Oh, wait a minute. Well, let's hope that the space opera and the space opera don't have as much in common as it appears.
This piece of film must be up on the screen. This is what happened, man.
Now, nobody knows this, but the monster that Luke milked is actually called the Soy Beast, and a special tribute not just to the blue milk from Star Wars, but to Rian Johnson's drink of choice, which is soy milk. Now, I saw in recent press releases that the release date was spring, May 25th. But then when I just saw the trailer at the theater, the release date said summer. So it looks like it could possibly get pushed back. But you know what? I want to help. Now that you got rid of that nasty old gun and made sure to put a woman and a minority on the poster, now it's a really good start. But what you need is this. Ah, that really feels right. Just total cuck soy face. This This is the one. Oh yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Fucking whatever.
I don't like sand.